Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the What a Deck profile for PKBA. It's Phantom Knight / Burning Abyss. I'm just going to go through every card in here and then I'll explain its role in the deck. So we've got 2 Seer, 2 Calcab. Excuse me, I'm not used to Burning Abyss, so I don't know how to say some of these names. 3 Libic, 3 Farfa, 1 Graph, 3 Rugged Glove, 3 Scarm, yes, 3 Dusty Robe, and 3 Silent Boots. As for spells, we've got 3 Galaxy Cyclone. Traps, we have 3 Skill Prisoner, 3 Breakthrough Skill, 3 the Phantom Wing, 3 the Phantom Fog Blade, and 2 the Phantom Sword. Extra deck, we've got Dark Rebellion, the Illuminescent Knight, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, Downerd Magician, Steel Swarm Roach, Maystroke, number 43 Nightmare Shark, 2 Phantom Knight of Breaksword, 1 Submersible Carrier Aereo Shark, 1 Super Quantum Mecham Beast Grand Pulse, 1 Ghost Trick Alucard, 1 Shadow Lich, 1 Zenmaines, and 2 Dante, Traveler in the Burning Abyss. The side deck is more extra options than an actual side deck, and I'll explain that later. So basically with this deck, the whole idea is that everything you have can be used from the graveyard. You're going to be making Dante a whole lot, and you just mill 3, and unlike most Burning Abyss decks, like a lot of them like to run Fire Lake, but Fire Lake, if you happen to mill that in the graveyard, it's useless. With this, everything is useful from the graveyard. Obviously, all the Burning Abyss get effects when they're sent to the graveyard. The Phantom Knights, all the monsters, you can banish them to gain an effect. Rugged Gloves, you can send another Phantom Knight to the graveyard. Dusty Robe, you can add a Phantom Knight monster from your deck to your hand. And Silent Boots, you can add one of these Phantom Spell Traps from your deck to your hand. And then all the Spell Traps, Galaxy Cyclone, you can banish from the graveyard to destroy a face-up Spell Trap. Skill Prisoner, if your monster would be targeted, or any card on your side of the field, if it would be targeted, you can banish this and it negates any effect that would target it for that entire turn. Actually a surprisingly good card, especially against like Cyber Dragon Infinity. Breakthrough Skill, you can banish from the graveyard to negate an effect. And then these 3 all have the same effect. You can banish them from the graveyard to special summon one of your Phantom Knights from the graveyard. So, if you happen to mill one of these and a Phantom Knight, then you can get them back out. These are all level 3, so you're basically just running a huge rank 3 toolbox. Most of these in here are just for like specific situations. Nightmare Shark can attack directly. So that's if you need that extra 2,000 damage, you can do that. Likewise, Submersible Carrier Aereo Shark, he'll do 100 damage to your opponent for each of your banished monsters. If you can't attack because you banish these, you can sometimes do that extra 300, 400. He's like a Gaga Cowboy for rank 3s. Grand Pulse can destroy any spell trap, and he's got 2,800 defense. Alucard can only set, 1 set card, so that could be set monsters or set. He's also dark. So, Phantom Knights of Rugged Glove, when you use him to make a Dark Ixie monster, it gains 1,000 attack. So, if you use him with Rugged Glove, he can have 2,800. Otherwise, this guy's probably the better rank 3 destroy 1 spell trap on the field card. Shadow Lich is kind of interesting. He's one of the more defensive cards on here, along with Zenmaines. But he's dark, so you can get him up to a ridiculous number of attack. Basically, during your opponent's turn, you can discard or detach and make a token, and he gets 500 attack for each token, and you can't attack him if he has a token out. So he's a good defensive card. He's also good if you make him with a Burning Abyss like Farfa. You can detach during your opponent's turn, like anytime during your opponent's turn, and then banish a monster at a critical time. So that's why he's here. Zenmaines is defensive. And of course, Dante is your main guy. Just getting rid of 3 cards, always going to be useful, like I said. And Phantom Knight of Breaksword is your other main guy. His effect is you can detach 1 material, destroy 1 card on each side of the field. So this has 2 good uses. 1, if you've got a continuous trap or like a Galaxy Cyclone set on your side of the field that you can't activate, you can get rid of that and something your opponent controls. Which you want to do because none of the Burning Abyss, you can only special summon them if you have no back row. So he can help you get rid of your back row if you have it. Alternatively, you can use his effect to destroy himself. If he's destroyed by a card effect, while he has Ixie's material, you can summon 2 Phantom Knights from your graveyard and make their level 4. But you can only special summon dark monsters the rest of this turn. So this is really good if you can get 2 Phantom Knights, make this guy, or you could make him with the Burning Abyss if you already have 2 Phantom Knights in your graveyard. Blow up himself and something your opponent controls, and then they just come back, and that's why you have all these rank 4s that you can make, and they're all dark. Dark Rebellion Ixie Dragon to get over big monsters. The Illuminescent Knight, you can just reflect stuff that targets onto Dante if you have him and something else. Downward Magician, that's a Burning Abyss staple. You can put it on top of anything. Steel Swarm Roach, this really helps against, again, Cyber Dragon Infinity, Necros, if anyone still plays, any fusion deck. This guy's really good anti against certain decks that do level 5 or higher, like Synchro monsters and stuff like that. And Maystroke is your defensive level 4 if you need just a wall to get into. The 2300 is nothing to sneeze at, and of course he could stop himself from being destroyed. So that pretty much covers everything. The reason I chose this loadout of Burning Abyss is just for the effects I thought that were most useful. Since you play non-Burning Abyss, Liebig is good because he lets you special summon a Burning Abyss from your hand, and its effect is negated. This guy gets rid of back row. This guy banishes monsters. Skarm lets you search. Graph lets you search. Seer lets you recycle. And then I already went over the spell traps. So as for the side deck, the only things I'd consider in the actual side deck is a Master Key Beetle. He's another dark level 4. Sometimes he's better against certain decks. Another Ghost Trick Alucard. If you really need a lot of back row destruction, you can, because Alucard, when he's sent to the graveyard, you can get another Ghost Trick, add it to your hand. You can recycle through your Alucards. If one gets destroyed, you send the other back to the extra deck. So you can keep destroying stuff. Likewise, you can do the same thing with Dante, which is why I only play 2 of him. If you're playing heavy destruction deck, then playing 3 might be a good idea, because this guy hardly ever gets used anyway. And then the rest of this is just other alternatives. When I was originally playing a more Phantom Knight based deck that banished more stuff, Phantom Knights can really go in well with Speedroids, because they're also level 3 and they also special summon. And in the case of Triad Dice, you can banish it to negate a attack. So you end up with a lot of banished monsters. This guy gains attack equal to the number of banished monsters, and when he's destroyed, you can return them to the graveyard, so he resets your stuff. If you're looking for a more Phantom Knight-based deck, I would highly recommend him. Also, Gren Maju de Iser. Gren Maju de Iser. Very fun to say. Attack and defense equal to the number of removed from play cards times 400, because all of these spell traps you banish, all of the Phantom Knights you banish. Maybe just putting one of him in there, and if you happen to get into him late game, he can just decimate, because he'll get like 8,000, 9,000 attack. He can just be ridiculous. Necro Gardener's another good option. He can negate attacks from the graveyard. He's also level 3, also dark. This guy, Alec? He can negate a face-up monster. I didn't particularly use him, but if I had a side deck, I'd probably put him in here to switch out for Cowcab. He can be useful in certain situations, but because a lot of times you're milling during your turn and you've already got effect negation with Fog Blade and Breakthrough Skill, you don't really need more effect negation. This guy, of course, you could special summon another level 4 or lower monster, so that's another rank 3 way to go into that. Because you're playing all dark, you can play Allure of Darkness. Fire Lake is, of course, an excellent card. So is Crush Card Virus. These all work. This will let you summon your banished monsters back from the graveyard. So these 4, excellent cards to add in if you're not going for the theme of everything in the graveyard, like I was. If you happen to draw these can be excellent almost no matter what you got going. And that should be just about it. It's pretty fun. It takes a little bit of getting used to, because there's a lot of options and things you can choose between. But overall, fun deck. Next week, I'll be looking at something a little more Trollsy, a mill deck, I believe. Until then, good luck and have fun. Have fun.